in late 2023, there was a massive accident on the N3 highway between Pietermaritzburg and Hilton. This area is known for being incredibly misty with dangerous twists and turns up the hill. And one late afternoon, there was an incredible accident where there was a multi-car pileup involving taxis, cars, buses, and trucks, to a point where people were stuck in the traffic, they were stuck in their vehicles. There were people running up and down the highway looking for assistance, not knowing which way was up and which way was down because of how thick the mist was. Ambulances and traffic police could not make it to the scene because of how chaotic it was. This was all caused by the inability of the SANRAL, which is a government-owned entity, to put simple lines, to paint the markings, to put reflectors on the roads, and to put signs up that indicated how and where the danger was. But the incredible part of this whole story was the outpour of community support that we saw. The Umgeni municipality stepped into action and opened community halls, mobilized communities to bring food and blankets to those who were stuck on the highway, made sleeping places available in both people's homes as well as in community halls so that people could come off of the highway and off of the danger, have a hot meal and a safe place to stay. And throughout the night, volunteers from the community brought water and food. Medical services, volunteers from the community helped those on the highway. Firefighters whose fire equipment was no longer working were assisted by local businesses who brought Jaws of Life and other rescue equipment. There was an incredible solidarity around this particular incident. And throughout this whole period, there was never a question about whether or not a person was black or white, whether they were rich or poor, whether they came from a rural area or an urban area, whether they were unemployed or employed. Communities stood up for each other. South Africans stood up for each other from all walks of life to show compassion, to show that we can stand together in times of need. Now, this is the general story of South Africans. Good people who want good things for each other, not to be driven into divisive politics, not to be driven into corners and lagers based on people's personal agendas and political parties' ambitions for power and access to resources. In my own life, I've made similar choices, that despite my differences with people, that despite having a difference of opinion or a different culture, speaking a different language, coming from a different upbringing, that there's more that brings me together with my fellow human beings and my fellow South Africans than that drives us apart. And you can do the same. Choose not to be divided. Choose to come together around a common vision. Choose to come together around a common good. And this is your opportunity to stand up and take a stand for something that is better.